Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha Bean of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators Today we have a very special guest.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
What's your name?
Yeah, sure. I go by the name of SATEGA. I'm an artist based out of Miami. I was born in Chicago, but yeah, I'm based here out of Miami, South Florida.
Okay, South Florida. I know Florida very well. Very well.
Yeah.
I'm
Excellent.
I'm
Awesome.
originally from Florida, Gainesville, Florida, to be exact. I grew up.
That's crazy. I actually went to grade school in Gainesville.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. That's
yeah.
gnarly.
I
Hey,
spent some I spent some time in um I spent a few years in Gainesville before I came down to Miami. What is it? Lincoln Middle School. This is
oh,
actually Yeah, this is
that's
crazy.
amazing.
I did a few years in Duval Elementary right there.
Yeah.
So that's
Wow.
good that you. It's good that you have been, so you can kind of know where I was inspired and where I was enveloped in the music. You're familiar
Yeah.
with the areas, so that's good. It actually helps you better understand, and put it all together.
Oh yeah, I don't miss Gainesville, to be exact. I
Yeah,
mean,
I agree.
Miami's great though. I Miami's the best, definitely.
100%. Yeah, I've
um
spent most of my time here for sure.
that's so cool. I love it. Floridian. Um
Yeah.
tell, tell me a little bit about like your childhood. I love to go back to, like
Yeah,
the beginning, what like certain things that, are like the things, our little habits that we pick up that kind
sure.
of follow us as we are older. And so like what was your childhood like, and how did you kind of find your way into music?
Absolutely. So I was born in Chicago. I left I left with my family probably when I was around 5 years old. I lived a few years in Gainesville and then came down to Miami. Um, eh, I would say probably just the neighborhoods I was in, the friends I was hanging around, the schools that I went to, I would say were the main genre of music would be hip hop, R&B, soul
Yeah.
music. So that's what I was enveloped in. You're a product of your environment, and I'm so grateful for that environment. It was a very rich environment, very colorful environment, and I'm grateful for it. If it wasn't for those friends, for the environment that I was in, I wouldn't be the artist that I am today. So I'm extremely grateful for that. So I would even say, just even the African American culture. I've been around it my entire life. Even the schools that I grew up in were 80% predominantly African American,
Yeah, they were,
and
huh?
yeah, yeah, and I loved it. It was amazing because it takes you out of what you would, I guess, the norm of what you think where you would go, and
Mhm.
it was the best. I mean, I played sports, and again, I was just enveloped around hip hop culture, urban culture, and just that. I think that's what got me curious into music and wanting to start to pave my own way and start, creating the art that I'm creating today. Yeah.
Did you have supportive parents that,
I mean, honestly, my mother was so busy working to, like, put a roof over my head. Yeah. So my mother left my father when I was a kid from
Mm.
Chicago. We came down. My mother was so busy. I barely even saw the woman, to be honest with you.
Oh,
She was always working. So I was just kind of always just in the street around, this neighborhood, that neighborhood, with different friends. And all my friends embraced me, all my friends' family, it was all love,
I love to
all
hear
good vibes, all good energy. Um, what else? Where are we at?
That's so cool. Like,
Yeah,
so that was like the start of it. Now,
yeah,
I
for
always
sure.
say, like, what are the steps? Like, okay, like for me, when I
Yeah.
first discovered I wanted to do film, I
Okay.
was really young, and like I think it was one summer I rented the Alfred Hitchcock series
Yeah.
presents and at a library. I was like 16, and I
Love
told my
that.
parents, I was like, I'm gonna be a filmmaker. That's what I want to do. And they're like, okay,
That's right.
you know. But then I found like how to get into certain schools, and I just applied and I got into it, and then I eventually left and moved to, California, did the thing. But um what was like the next step? Like, did you know what you like? Oh, how did, like, you just kind of figured it out? Like,
So basically, I mean, I can only speak from my experience, but I think for me, music was like a high. It was like a natural high. I wasn't, listening to all these other hip hop and R&B artists,
mhm.
and also being able to see them on TV express themselves, express their situations, whether it be in a negative or positive situation, things they're going through. That was very fascinating to me. So
Yeah,
that started. I hated school. Like I was not a good
same.
student. I hated school. Yeah, I did. This is where I kind of like had the aha moment. Like, I have like ADHD, a little bit of OCD, which
Ah,
I think those things are actually gifts that were given. Yeah, I really do, because I can see it in myself that it actually helps you pay attention to certain things that maybe most people won't pay attention to.
yeah,
It
yeah,
could be a little bit annoying because it's hard to focus sometimes, but I do think they're gifts once you kind of learn yourself and learn how to be disciplined.
yeah.
But I think the aha moment for me was, school was very boring for me. I would be in class and I would be like, I got to get out of here. I just got to. So I would always ask when I was a young kid, can I go to the bathroom? And I would never come back until like the principal came and got me and took me back to class. And but when I focused on school, when I said, hey, you know what, let me come today and
Yeah,
actually try. Once I tried, I did exceptionally well. But
that's
then I
good.
was like, I think I was almost ahead of my time as a kid. I was like, okay, so now what? So it's almost like, okay, yeah, I could get good grades, but I was looking for maybe like a result quickly. Like, okay, what's the benefit of this? Okay, yeah, I get
Right.
a grade on the paper, but what's the benefit? So I think instinctually as a kid, I was like, this is not exciting for me. It's not, you know.
Yeah,
So music kind of got those creative flowing, and I just immersed myself into music.
love that.
That's basically what yeah. I just immersed myself into being a student of music and just loving music. I would say I don't play any instruments, so my instrument would be my voice,
Nice.
and but just listening to singers, listening to rappers, male artists, female artists, just kind of learning how to put a record together, learning about intros, bridges, verses,
That's
choruses, and really just trying to understand what's going on here. And I think the aha moment for me was, just I had one day I was just like, I want to do this. And I see artists expressing themselves on TV, their story. I'm like, okay, I have a story to tell too. I
yeah.
want to tell so I had to be like probably 15, 16.
Nice.
So, and then I was like, yeah, I sat down at a table and I grabbed a pen and a blank sheet of paper and I literally just started writing words. I was just like, let me try to, no production, no beat. And I'm like, let me see if I can start, because I was always a good writer. I always did good in English class, so I think that's
Nice.
also always been a good writer. So just piecing words together, and of course in the beginning it was horrible. Like it's
Yeah, as
it's
we all start out, right? It's like you're like, oh wow, that's that's a bad movie, Miosha. You know what I mean?
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. But you know what I realized is, like, if you feel something, is if you feel like an itch or like a desire, like I was saying this the other day on another interview, that it's like an intoxicating feeling, almost like you're on drugs, but it's not drugs. And I
Mm,
really feel like I can't explain it. Maybe it's your soul, or maybe it's God just kind of pouring that into you, and
yeah,
you're trying to express it. You're trying to get it out,
yeah.
and that's how I felt. I felt like drawn to actually write.
Wow.
it's incredible. It's almost like it just takes over
Your
your body,
body.
and yeah,
Wow.
and you just literally are like, I got to do this. So yeah, and I just started, writing and writing without any production for a long time, just making
Wow.
words, making words rhyme, and then finally there started to be websites where you can get beats, download beats, and then that was the whole new level. Okay, now I can words on a beat and kind of like ride the beat, surf the beat. So, but I would definitely say that 10,000 hour theory it's real. Like to
Yeah.
be great at anything, and if you look at anyone that's done anything substantial or great, they've done well over 10,000 hours. I feel like that's it's like to really, any great athlete, any great artist, any great engineer, scientist, you name it, they've dedicated so much time, energy, and effort just trying to discover something. So I think for me, it was just trying to discover myself
Yeah.
and then my sound. I think as a music artist, I think that's probably from my experience, been one of the most important things to figure out is my sound because, as you know, there's millions of artists out here, and
Yeah.
it's and a lot of them sound everyone else. So
Right, right.
yeah, yeah. So you got to be unique to yourself, and you really got to figure out who you are and try not to be anyone else. Just stay true to yourself.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Now I would love to. I think it's very interesting because I finally got to hear it when I
yeah.
sent it to me, your song. Now tell me a little bit about the
Sure.
process of that. Blame it on me.
Yeah,
Where did the
absolutely.
title come from? I mean, it's super
Yeah,
swagged out. It's different. It's like,
thank
ooh,
you.
it's a vibe. And
Thank you.
like, yeah, what was the inspiration behind that?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Yeah. So yeah, I look for when I make music, I look for inspiration any time of the day for anything. I'm looking for a spark of inspiration. I'm sure so many other artists could probably relate to that. Um, and it's kind of almost like that intoxicating feeling that I was speaking about before, but now a little more cultivated. Now you're more conscious and aware of, okay, there's like something might happen, an event might happen, or
Right.
interaction might happen, and then something sparks, and they're like, "Oh, this could be a good record."
Yeah.
So that the inspiration for that came for me just being playful with a woman, being playful with a girl, and like her teasing me, saying
Yeah.
like, "Hey, it's your fault, Satega." I'm like, "Okay, fine, blame it on me," you know so that was this is real, so this is that's where it came from, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. So that was a real event, and me saying blame it on me, and then me having just that right beat,
Yeah.
and then the inspiration hit, and then when it hits, you have to move quick, and
I
you
love
gotta
that.
yeah, when I realized as a music artist, this is something that I learned. I don't care what's going on in my life. I don't care. I could be at dinner. I could be at a get together. I don't care. If inspiration hits me,
You're like,
if
I gotta
something
go.
comes to me, I'll put notes in my phone, and I'll start feeling this like itch, or this like something's pulling me. It's almost like my soul is pulling me like, oh, we got to go lay this down. So
Wow.
then, yeah, it's incredible.
That's
It's
amazing.
incredible. Yeah, and it's challenging too. It's hard. It's tough to make I would say it's challenging because so I make the music for myself. I really
Mhm.
focus on making art that I like.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not trying to initially make art.
For
Um
people or the fans.
yeah, I'm trying to get where I'm satisfied with it. And then
Yeah.
after that, then I'm like, okay, I'm happy with this. Now I want to share it with the people. Now I want to put it out there and then get their reaction and see if they can connect with it, or if they like it, or what their experience. Yeah.
I actually like that. I like that approach because I think a lot of artists, a lot of times we feel, I think I'm sure with or any creative, honestly,
Yeah.
in any field, I feel like you have this thing of like, whether it's your agent or whoever, they're like, oh, you should, what does your audience think about this? And Yes,
Right.
and I think it's great to consider, but I think also you're robbing yourself creatively, like of discovering things that you like and want to share with your audience. Because I feel like the people that gravitate towards you like you because you're real to yourself. It's that you're being authentic with yourself, and
I
there's a
agree 100%.
bunch of, like you said earlier, there's a bunch of people trying to be other people.
Yeah,
When you're just being yourself, you know, it's just something
exactly. Yeah,
different.
absolutely. Yeah, we're all unique. We all have gifts. I know it's it's sometimes it's hard for people to see because in the music industry, I guess at a certain level, there's only a handful of people that you might see.
Yeah.
Sometimes people feel like you need to sound like this person, but at the end of the day, they are where they are because they stuck to themselves. They stuck to true to who they are. And I mean, I would say even any other famous painter
Yeah.
or music artist or pianist or whatever, they created a unique sound. So I pride myself to that I have my own sound, that I don't sound like nobody. You're not gonna hear it's like, oh, it sounds like Satega. No.
I love that. And may I
Yeah.
ask what the name? Where did the name come from? Your
Yeah,
stage name.
sure, absolutely. So my first name is Sebastian, my last name is Ortega. So what I did was
Oh,
blended the two together, blended the first name with the last name, took the S from the first name, chopped off
nice.
the end of the first beginning of the last name, and I Sebastian Ortega. So I kind of mixed them, Satega.
Love that. That's really fun. A play on words. That's really fun.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, original, something unique, something that
Yeah, it
you
sounds
know.
good. It's like, Tega.
Satega, yeah,
That's different. I
exactly.
don't think I've heard of that ever. No.
I thank you. I get that a lot. I tell people, "Oh, my name's Tega." A lot of times I don't even tell them, my real name,
You
just
really,
because
yeah.
yeah, just Tega is it's another one of my names. So I get that reaction a lot, like, "Oh, wow, that's unique. I never heard that." So that's a part of being an artist, right? It's a
That
part of
is
making art. Even your name, it could be art. So,
absolutely. I
yeah,
love that. That's beautiful. Um,
yes,
Are you super involved in the visuals when it comes to making your music, when like your music videos? Are you like, or you just like, I don't know, how involved are you when it comes to
sure,
the creative process?
yeah,
Like, are you
absolutely.
behind the scenes with the director, or
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So for this video, I actually picked out all the scenes.
Hey, all right,
Yeah,
nice.
I mapped out all the scenes. Shout out to Migo, shout out to Lunch Crew. What's the Skibo? What is I think it's Guala. Hopefully I got all those right. The whole production team behind the video, amazing guys. I've done another video with them.
Nice.
I picked out most of the scenes where we were shooting. Also helped me with some of the locations.
Oh, great.
So I think it was a collaborative as far as let's do this, let's do that together. But I would say for this last video, I was hands on. I was hands on. Like, let's
Love
get this,
that.
yeah, let's get this scene. I think it's good because at the end of the day, I mean, it's your art, right? Like you gotta you have to capture what you see inside, and with the record, you have to kind of bring that from here to this reality that we're in
Right.
the best way that you can. And it's really strange because when I was doing the video, I was like, I had a feeling it was gonna come out good. I just didn't know how good it was gonna come out.
Right.
It's like you're walking in a dark room. You can't see what's happening. But that's where you just have to have trust in the process and also trust in the team, the people around you. So
Yeah,
I'm really grateful
absolutely.
for the production team behind me as well that
Mhm.
helped bring everything to life. And I'm actually happy. I came out. It turned out even better than I initially thought. Yeah, so I'm super happy about that.
Love
Yeah.
that. That those are always great when it turns out better than what you expect. That's
Yeah.
always that's a good day. That's a good day. I have a fun question that I like to ask.
Sure.
Um, if you could be managed by any artist, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Managed by another
Yeah,
artist?
like a man. Yeah, any artist.
I don't know if I would want to be managed by another artist, to be honest. That's
Really?
yeah, like I don't I think it's possible. That's Now, it depends. Like mentored, that's interesting.
Sure. Same.
Okay,
Yeah, sure.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, because I don't know. Like I feel like it could be a good thing, and also could be not the best thing. I think it all depends on which artist. But I love that. I know I see where your question is going. Very interesting. Um,
No wrong answers. Whatever you want it to
yeah,
be.
no. I mean, I really like Prince a lot. I think he's
Ah, it's a
incredible.
good one. It's a great
Yeah,
one.
Prince, and it's not even the genre that I do. Like, but I've just like seen, his uh, documentaries and just
Yeah.
read up on him
He
and seen
was,
he's a genius. So
yeah, he
he's
was amazing. He was
he's
absolutely
incredible.
incredible. Yeah.
It's incredible. It's like it's shocking. Like he's shockingly incredible.
Yeah.
So I think even just to be around that guy would level you up to a whole
Has to be, right?
yeah.
That's like it's
I think
freaking Prince. Holy crap.
Prince, man, like
Oh
yeah,
man.
that's the first thing that I never
I
got that
love
question,
that.
which I love. Yeah, that was completely natural. There's so many other artists. There's so many other artists that I think are incredible and amazing.
Mm,
But that's he's just very unique. He's just
yeah.
he's like a weirdo, and he's amazing. And I like that.
Me too.
I like artists that are weirdos. They're like
Me too.
weird. Like they don't do anything what normal. To me, that's like I like this guy. He's like, the geniuses are always weirdos. So
Right?
I gravitate more with weirdos because I feel like weirdos are like they're not afraid to just be who they are. They're not looking for validation from anyone. They don't really care.
Yeah. I love that. That's
Yeah.
a great answer. That's a great answer. I another answer. Another it's gonna sound funny, but
Sure.
with you're an artist, you're in the
Yeah.
industry. I mean, I'm sure you hear about it too, what's going on with the whole Drake and Kendrick
Uh-huh.
Lamar. Do you feel like rap needs another beef? Is this good for rap culture?
Um, Honestly, so from my experience, I could just speak from my experience.
Yeah.
I feel like if that's something you want to get into, that I feel like in certain genres and certain artists they like to have friendly beefs. I think it's good for publicity, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, no one really knows if it's serious or if it's not serious, but it's like even if it isn't serious, it's still entertaining, right? So at the end of the day, we are showmen, some
That's true.
showmanship to it, right? So like even if you have a little bit of, let's say, I don't know, industry beef, and you go back, like also you can see it as men. Sometimes men have egos, people have egos, right?
Right.
So sometimes we like to exercise, who's bigger, who's stronger. I necessarily don't like to think about things like that because I think we're all very unique. I don't think one artist is better than another. I don't
Right.
think you can say this artist is better than ours. I think an artist is like food. It's
Hmm.
like coffee. You like hot coffee, you like cold coffee, Italian
Subjective.
food, you like
Yeah,
Jamaican
absolutely.
food, Spanish food. What do you like? Like it's same things with comedians, right? This
Right.
comedian might be something a comedian you like, and this comedian might be somebody else's cup of tea, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
listen, if you wanna, I feel like that's their business. If they wanna, exercise that, they can. And I would say for myself, I just like to focus on making art and just
Yeah,
make, that's it. Just but
I feel the same way. How you feel? I feel like sometimes the industry, um, like you have all these like the back in the day they had the whole like
yeah,
Tupac and the Diddy situation or the and
yeah,
it's like I just really wish it didn't have to be so gloves on kind of
yeah,
thing and just like you said about the art, but I guess sometimes I guess friendly competition, sure, that's nothing wrong with it, but when it becomes start to become dangerous and
yeah.
someone's life is threatened, I think that's like, okay, whoa.
Exactly. And it should never get to that. It should never
No,
get to that because at the end of the day, it's like everything should be about love, right? Like we're God's children, right? So when I hear
absolutely.
we're not here to pull each other down and kick each other. And it should be love. Friendly competition is great, but there should be no malice, no envy. It should always be love. That's how I feel.
That's great.
Yeah.
A really fun question. Again, no wrong answer.
Sure.
The 3 levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could choose only one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
Money, power, and respect. If I was forced to choose one, money can solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Money can buy you respect. Money can buy you power. So, I don't think money is everything. Definitely don't think like that, but I definitely think it's, I read this book. They say that it's just as important as oxygen. It's true, because if you don't have oxygen, you can't breathe. But if you don't have money, you can't survive. So
It's very true.
it's pretty important, but it can't be the end all be all, right? Like, there's so much more to life, obviously, connection,
I love
people.
that.
Yeah, there's so much more. But it's I think if you look at money in the right way, it's not a bad thing. I think it's a tool, like a screwdriver, like a hammer. It's a tool, and I think money allows you to be more of who you are, be more of who you want to be, and
Absolutely.
who you're, who you're striving to be. So I think, if you're respected, and you're broke, that's not really helping you out, right? Like, people in the world can respect you, but if,
Right,
like,
right.
power. Yeah, maybe. I definitely think, yeah, power. If you have power, I would think you might have money, but maybe not. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah.
But I feel like you could have money and people don't respect you too. So that's a tough question. You could have money and you're still not respected. But if you had a choice, look, I'm gonna be respected but be broke, or have money and not be respected, I think anyone would probably say, I would rather not be respected and
Yeah,
take this
who
money.
cares, right? About respect.
Who cares?
I'm never
Exactly.
gonna meet this person. That doesn't ruin my
Exactly.
day.
Exactly. Exactly. So I honestly would take the money, because I know what I can do with the money.
Right.
That's me. I know what I can do with the money. I feel like I could get the respect. I can get the power. But I would say even the power. I think with power you have to be very careful, and I think that's where a lot of people fall short. I feel like they're given power and they don't know what to do with it, and
Yeah.
it's too much for them, and they start taking advantage of their power.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to be careful, because I've seen a lot of people that go into high places in life. I've seen it myself. I've even have friends, and they get to a certain level and they start to become arrogant. They start to become,
Yes,
mistreating people,
fortunately.
and
Yeah.
then that rug gets pulled underneath their feet. So it's like, you have to be humble, obviously, in front of our creator. That's how I feel like. And I always try to remind myself that. And it's tough. It's tough. I've even ran into situations like that, as far as, not all the time, but certain friends or family, where they might even think that I'm coming off and be like, kind of arrogant or kind of cocky, or
Oh,
right? But when you really get to know my heart and you really get to know me as a person, it's just pure confidence.
right.
Confidence. So when you're confident in what you do and you really believe in yourself, when you're around people that are not at that level of confidence and not at that level of belief, they could easily mistake you for being cocky or arrogant.
Yeah.
So to any other woman or man out there, that whatever you're doing, whatever you're pursuing, whether business or being an artist, anything that you're doing, you have to have, like I've seen people say, delusional belief, like almost
That's
like
true.
crazy belief. Like, people will look, even there's so many people that they thought were like have problems. Einstein, they thought he had mental problems.
Right.
He literally thought he had mental problems, like diagnosed mental problems, right? So, like, every genius is crazy in the world, but the problem is most, I feel, this is my opinion, a lot of people, they're just not consciously at that level of thinking. So when they're not at that level of thinking, they're automatically going to cast you out or think that you have a problem. But the truth is, usually those people are just much smarter and much they're just further ahead. They
Mhm.
just could kind of, they're at the next level of this video game, they're just at a level that you can't even compute, you can't even understand. So I would say keep being confident, keep believing in yourself, and be humble at the same time. And I think if you can do that, you're perfectly fine. But you're not going to make everyone happy out here in the world. It's just what's
No, not
you know?
unfortunately.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unfortunately. What are you working on anything at the moment that you would like to kind of share? Is anything coming up that you have?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So this is right now I'm just focusing on getting this record out to the
All right.
people, and I got about 2 albums worth of songs.
Whoa.
Yeah, already done.
Wow.
Yeah, I have at least about enough songs to make 2 albums.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
yeah, so I have a lot of records ready to go. Probably what my focus has been these
Nice.
last few years, just creating art. And now I'm to the point where I'm like, okay, it's that time. It's that time to
Mm,
actually start putting the art out, and honestly, just making art that I'm happy with. You know, it's a
that's it.
process. It's a process, but it's been some years. Where, okay, I have enough good art. It's
That's
time to start
good.
switching the focus on getting the art out there,
Yeah.
and and that's what I love about art. Like if you make good art, it's timeless. You
Yeah.
can't put a time on it. You can't put a, is this, is this sound old, or is this that, is this that? Especially if you stay true to yourself and true to who you are, I feel like good art, good music, it's literally timeless. Like we were just speaking about Prince, like Prince's music will be played for, I think, forever. It will,
Forever.
I think, all of existence. Just like Beethoven, like
Mhm.
these composers, they're gonna be around forever.
Yeah.
So
That's incredible. Yeah, absolutely. And you're doing a really great job. And
thank you so
just yeah,
much.
I love what you said. And
Likewise.
it's just, keeping it going and creating. I love that. That's what
Yeah,
it's really all about. Um,
absolutely.
where can people follow you on social media?
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram. It's at SATEGA Management. That's SATEGA Management. And also, you could YouTube me. Just search SATEGA, SATEGA. I'll pop up. My YouTube handle is SATEGA Music.
Awesome. 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 Well, that's so great. I'm excited for you and I can't
Thank
wait to
you.
hear more that you got cooking up 2 albums worth. I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you
Congratulations.
so much. Thank you
And
so
yeah,
much.
come back on in the future anytime.
Yes, I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. You have some great questions, by the way. I like
I try. I try.
that. Makes it more interesting, more fun,
Good.
more engaging for sure.
Oh, great. I'm glad you enjoyed them. Thank you so much. And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Awesome.